Welcome to UNITA's course on PCBs. Let's start with key definitions and concepts. What are PCBs? Polychlorinated biphenyls are a group of man-made organic chemicals consisting of carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine atoms. The number of chlorine atoms and their location in a PCB molecule determines many of its physical and chemical properties. PCBs have no known taste or smell and range in consistency from an oil to a waxy solid. Of the possible 209 individual congeners of PCB, only about 130 have been formulated for commercial use. In these, typically 4 to 6 of the 10 possible positions for substitution are occupied by a chlorine atom. PCBs were manufactured by Monsanto in the USA from 1929 and later by manufacturers in Europe, Russia, Japan, China, and perhaps elsewhere. Their manufacture was progressively banned as a result of increasing concern about their human health and environmental impacts. Manufacturing bans were introduced first in the USA in 1979 and over the next 20 years or so by other manufacturing countries. Precise data for the amounts of PCBs manufactured is not available, but it has been estimated that total world production was about 1.5 million tons. Where were PCBs used? PCBs have been employed in a variety of applications, and many items of equipment containing PCB liquids and articles made from mixtures including PCBs are still in use today. The wide range of applications is based on the practical properties and characteristics of PCBs, such as their thermal and chemical stability. We can identify the applications based on how easily the PCBs contained within a product can escape to the surrounding environment. Generally, we can identify 2 applications: open and closed. Closed and partially closed systems can be recovered and make the final disposal. Among closed systems, we can find electrical transformers, electrical capacitors, power factor capacitors, lighting ballasts, motor start capacitors in refrigerators, heating systems or air conditioners, capacitors in electronic equipment including television sets and microwave ovens, electrical motors, and electric magnets. PCBs in open systems take on the form of the product they have been used in as an ingredient. The recovery is very difficult. Therefore, PCBs in open applications may be lost and found in the environment. Common open applications are lubricants, casting waxes, surface coatings, such as paints or flame retardants, adhesives, plasticizers, such as gasket sealers, inks as dyes and printing inks, immersion oils for microscopes, insulating materials, and pesticides. The Stockholm Convention. Since 2001, PCBs have been listed as a persistent organic pollutant, subject to strict controls under the Stockholm Convention, a global treaty to protect human health and the environment from chemicals that remain intact in the environment for long periods, become widely distributed geographically, accumulate in the fatty tissue of humans and wildlife, and have harmful impacts on human health or on the environment. Parties to the Convention need to take actions, as set out in Part 2 of Annex A of the Convention, in order to ensure that PCBs are managed and disposed of in accordance with their obligations. The Convention requires equipment containing PCBs to be retired from operations by 2025 and be disposed by environmentally sound means by 2028. As a result, parties to the Convention are required to make determined efforts to identify, label, and remove from use equipment containing greater than 10% polychlorinated biphenyls and volumes greater than 5 liters. Make determined efforts to identify, label, and remove from use equipment containing greater than 0.05% polychlorinated biphenyls and volumes greater than 5 liters. Although PCB-containing equipment has not been manufactured for over 30 years, much of the equipment is still in use. Furthermore, inappropriate maintenance routines may have mixed PCBs with other dielectric fluids, thus contaminating newer equipment that did not originally contain PCBs. It is therefore essential to identify, label and remove contaminated equipment from use. Now, let me invite you to our next course on the PCB inventories.